Hey, what's up, everyone? Back for this All-Star game. Gonna be looking at the showdown, giving guys some guys that I like. So far, the All-Star break has been pretty good because I've been dabbling in some hockey, and if you follow on Twitter, you know that it's been pretty good. Like last night, it was a 156 with the core that I posted, and then 2 days ago I had the takedown somehow, even though I barely know anything about hockey, but it's one of those sports where you definitely can get lucky. So I've just been trying it out, and it's one of those sports where, just like baseball, it's all about stacking. It's all about basically I just try to get the teams with the highest totals and then get everybody out as I can from the first line. But yeah, it's been great. Couldn't have imagined that going well. So I'll probably continue to post pics on Twitter as long as I play hockey, which will be for a couple more days until NBA's back. But let's get into this one. We'll be looking at I will be playing this showdown tonight. Both sites have nice tournaments, so yeah, excited for it. So you can drop a like down below, subscribe if you have not already. Over on Draftkings, the highest priced guy on both sites is Giannis, and I think well deserving. So I think if you have no idea where to start to look for plays on this All-Star game, is you probably can look at last year. And last year we had both of the same captains, LeBron and Giannis. Even the year before we had the same captains. And really, I just looked at this just to see how many minutes you could expect for guys. So, both LeBron and Giannis played 27 minutes. Expect a similar amount tonight, probably. They are the captains. They're what people want to see. They're the players people want to see. Not that they're playing with a bunch of scrubs, but it's it's their team. They're gonna be out there probably the most minutes out of anybody. So both of them have high floors to have high prices as well. And then with the other guys, you see the starters played about 20 plus minutes for both sides, except for Kawhi, only played 19. And then the bench, you got a couple players play like high minutes, and then you got a lot of just players that played in the teens at the end here. So basically, to figure out who's going to get more minutes, it can just kind of look at the place that people were drafted. Like, I'm sure Vucevic was the last pick last year. Russell was close to the end. Lowry. So they're probably not going to get a lot of playing time this year. Like Sabonis probably will get the teens. Everybody that was picked at the end, like Donovan Mitchell, might get some teens. So that's kind of the way you want to approach it. I want to get as many players as I can. Some of the starters and some of the guys that were picked like early on in the reserves. And there's some exceptions that can be made. And the biggest one is Chris Middleton is probably one of my favorite cheap plays on the slate because he was picked first by Giannis as the reserves, as you would expect. And last year, Giannis gave him not sure Giannis gave him, but coming off the bench first, he played 22 minutes, which was more than a couple starters. So he looks really, really good. He's very, very cheap on DraftKings. That's going to be the guy that I like a lot. But I think Giannis is just the guy that I want, just because there is value that you can go to. So definitely like Giannis to pay up. And Team LeBron has so many studs. Like, after Giannis here, the next 5 guys are all starter, or except for Westbrook, they're all on Team LeBron. So he has a lot of the studs, and it's going to be interesting to see how they play with one another. I mean, they're going to take away from each other a little bit, and they're not going to be out there for 30-plus minutes. So you're going to have to probably get a good game from a couple of them. I think maybe like Luka, a guy that can do everything like Luka is pretty appealing. I don't think this will be a great spot for Harden. I think he'll just shoot a lot and not get a lot of rebounds or assists. But a guy like Luka, I think Westbrook off the bench is fine. And then on Giannis' side, Trae Young looks good. I don't think Kawhi's going to play a ton. I mean, they already limit him on back-to-backs. He hasn't even played a back-to-back all year. I don't think he's going to play a lot. I think you could expect 20 minutes out of him. He wouldn't be a guy that I'm trying to get in, but he is pretty cheap at $12K. And I think both of the Sixers players are definitely in play. Especially Embiid starting, but Simmons off the bench, he's a guy that does everything out there. LeBron definitely likes him, so he's a guy that can get you points, rebounds, assists, and not need a ton of playing time to make value. And then for some reason, Kemba is cheaper than a lot of the reserves at 99 as a starter. That is pretty appealing. And then now we're getting into some of these guys that probably won't play a ton, like Sabonis. He's at 81. I don't think I will get a ton of Sabonis just because he was the last pick. And you have like Tatum, who's been playing out of his mind cheaper. I definitely like Tatum, his price point. And then Chris Middleton is insanely cheap at 48. He looks good too. So that's pretty much where I'm looking for the showdown. I also like to leave some money on the table for showdowns just because it's the all-star game. Everybody is talented. You don't need to fill out all of your money to give yourself the best chance of scoring the most points. It can also be a disadvantage because you're probably going to tie with a lot of people. So I like to leave some money on the table. So if I was building, I would start with Giannis probably at captain. I would start with his teammate Chris Middleton at 3,200 is just a slam dunk play for me. Just the way that, he was the first guy picked, so you should get at least like 20 minutes or close to 20 minutes off the bench. And the fact that he's so cheap is really, really surprising. I definitely like Tatum at just 44. That looks pretty good. And then I would say that like Kemba at just 66 as a starter. That looks really good. If I try to get a piece of LeBron, somebody from LeBron's team, I would probably be like Luka is only 86. He's a guy that one of the better point per minute guys on the year. He looks fine. He played 31 minutes against Sacramento. Could have probably played more. The game was out of hand. He looked fine from his ankle injury, so I don't think he's going to be limited. I think you could still see him play similar amount to the other starters, and at this price point, he definitely looks very good. And then, LeBron just has so many good players like him, Harden, Davis, Westbrook, Kawhi. It's gonna be some of it's gonna be interesting to see, like I mentioned, how they all play with one another, because it's gonna be pretty few fantasy points to go around for all those guys. I definitely like. We'll see if Ingram is gonna play or not. That's gonna be pretty important, just to let one less body to play. And I kind of like Embiid, just a guy at 78. Embiid, chance to get a double-double. He was pretty successful last year with Giannis playing as a center. Played, I think, about 20 minutes. Got a double-double. So he's a guy that can, probably play a similar amount, 20 to 23 minutes. And he's another guy that's a good point per minute on the year. So that's kind of what I like from Embiid. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for DraftKings. And then FanDuel is pretty similar. FanDuel format is a 2x, 1.5x, 1.2x format, so you have a little bit of more opportunities to be different, but it is one less player. And it's the same format as they had for the NFL showdowns. As the MVP, it's still Giannis is the most expensive guy, and I think he's probably has the best chance to lead the entire slate in fantasy points, especially with LeBron playing with all those other high usage guys. Like Giannis is not playing with as much good players on his starting lineup, so it's going to be very easy for him, assuming he gets comparable minutes, to be the best scorer on the slate. And then I definitely love Embiid more than Jokic. I don't know why he's cheaper than Jokic, but I think Embiid is better play than Jokic. I like Trae Young and Luka. They look good. And then Tatum is pretty expensive. I kind of like Simmons over Tatum. And then I still like Kemba is only 85. That's a guy that I would try to get in just because he's starting. He's going to play 20 minutes. He's playing with guys that in this range. Mitchell might get you like teens in minutes. Gobert might get you teens. But Kemba should get you close to 20, if not more than 20. And I think FanDuel has the bonus priced right. He should be near the end, just the way he was picked. And then Chris Middleton at 6K is going to be another guy that I definitely get Chris Middleton in. I think you could be different and play Chris Middleton as one of the multipliers just to be different. Do something like that. And then as at the 1.5x, you could play like Luka if you want. Davis also another guy that doesn't play a ton in the All-Star games, but I think he still looks okay, but I don't think I want to prioritize him. I kind of like going with like Luka, going with Giannis. Definitely Chris Middleton, and then you could play like Kemba, and then pay up for LeBron. Leave some money on the table if you want. But I also do like Kemba's price on FanDuel is very, very appealing. So there's just some ways you can go on the slate. I think it's fun just because there's so many ways to go. Like so many superstars. You play Embiid, you could do something like that. And then Trae Young or something. And then probably would move Embiid over Chris Middleton because I think he will score more. But it's just a fun. All-Star showdowns are always fun just because it's fun to make lineups. There's lots of money to be had, and it's fun watching the game because there's no defense played. But that's kind of it. Just wanted to touch on some of the thoughts and strategy that I have for the showdown. We'll be back when NBA returns Thursday. If you want some NHL advice, been posting like 5-player cores on Twitter for the last 2 days, and they've been great. So you can follow there if you want at the DFS process. I will be posting the NBA showdown on the website. And good luck today.